All right, cool. So today we're going to talk about supplements. What supplements I think you should have, what supplements you don't really need. Supplements are really one of the biggest scams in the influence in the fitness industry. I don't know. I said influence. Every ad is trying to tell you you need this new powder pill, pre-workout. I don't know, etc., etc. But we're gonna be honest. Like you don't really need most of them. Like I really don't want you guys to fall in that trap of buying things that you don't really need. So I'm just gonna make this video is not gonna be too long. It's gonna be pretty straightforward. Things that I think you should personally like consider getting: protein powder, protein shakes. I like shakes better just because like sometimes I'm rarely ever home, so I could just take a shake. Like I like Premier Protein, 30 grams. You have two of those. That's about 60. You know my motto: about a pound of protein per body weight. If you want to be technical, you're supposed to do lean body mass, but most people don't really track the protein in the first place. So I think it's a lot easier for you to do like a pound of per body weight. So if you're 200 grams, no, if you're 200 pounds, you're gonna aim for 200 grams. Make sense? Now you might not need as much, but assume you're trying to retain and maintain as much muscle as possible. It doesn't hurt to overshoot because protein satiating anyway. So having more chicken isn't necessarily a bad thing. You're not going to overeat necessarily. Next thing, creatine is one of the most safest studied and proven things to help improve muscle strength and your size. So it's like, imagine that it's like easily the closest things we have to steroids naturally, at least anyway. This one is a kind of it might be considered a hot take, but I would suggest caffeine because it improves your focus, your endurance, and your strength. Can be coffee or pre-workout. The only thing about caffeine, the only thing I really don't like is you become dependent on it, and then you need a higher dosages, and then you end up becoming like an addict. And I don't really want that for you guys. But if some people who like really have stressful jobs and they need like that extra push, pre-workout or some type of caffeine pill isn't necessarily a bad thing. So my top three would be protein, caffeine, and creatine. Honestly, I could end the video here, but we'll just continue just because I want to give you guys as much information as possible. So things that are nice to have, but you don't necessarily need. It really depends on what your diet looks like. Fish oil is good for your joints and omega threes. Multivitamins, it fills in some whatever nutritional gap you might have. Like most people have low iron, so a multivitamin might help in that case. A couple of things that I also like to take. I like to take ashwagandha. It helps me like calm down, keeps me relaxed and stuff. Vitamin C is good, especially when you get sick. Now we're just now I might get on a tangent about things that are just good for you overall. So I want to just try to keep like I want to just try to stay on track. So things I think are unnecessary and that you don't need: fat burners, like anything that says, "Well, I'll help you lose weight twice as fast." You don't necessarily need it. Like everybody loses weight differently. Well, not necessarily differently, but like you know how there's people that just have abs and they can eat McDonald's every day. Like the average person isn't like that, right? So you like it's essentially like a worser. I don't want to say it's a worser example because I don't think it's necessarily made from the same thing. But most fat burners are terrible, so you don't really need them. Testosterone boosters, right? They don't really do anything. If you want to boost your testosterone, I can make a whole video on that. But honestly, I'll just keep it pretty brief. You can sleep, make sure you're eating enough protein, and make sure you're working out. Everything else, we can go in another day. And then random concoctions that don't really have no research. There's a thing I like to live by, and it hasn't stirred me wrong as long as I've been on this planet. If it sounds too good to be true, in most cases, it probably is. I hate to break it to you guys. But yeah, overall, supplements are just that. It's a supplement. It can't replace real food. It can't replace your training. It can't replace how you work out. It can't replace your consistency. You gotta focus on like the basics. And then you add a couple things that help. It's like how I always tell you guys, like when it comes to working out, you gotta find things that you know you can stick to long term. A perfect example. If you don't like to squat, don't squat. You gotta find if you like the leg press instead, do the leg press. You want to stick to things that you know you'll be able to do long term. So I feel like for me, like I remember when I first started, I have a whole catalog of supplements that I don't even touch nowadays. And do I feel significantly different? Not really. It's funny. Funny. Speaking of supplements, I do have sleeping supplements I do recommend. Melatonin doesn't work for some people. This is for people who stay to the end. I do appreciate you if you stayed this long. Magnesium glycinate works. Regular glycinate works too. I can probably like link stuff down below if anyone's interested in trying it. So, long story short, no, you don't really need a whole cabinet of pills and supplements. Just stick to the basics, save your money, invest where you really need it. Food, sleep, and consistency. And yeah, I think this is pretty straightforward. I'm not gonna like tell you guys that you need anything else. If you guys have any questions or concerns or anything you want me to like go more in depth about, let me know. But yeah, I hope this helps.